This is often referred to as algae, but that is not the precise name. How did the problem in Florida get so bad?
Well, this is something that is actually amplified by fertilizer runoff. And all around the world, we have about 500 places where nitrates leach into our water system and create dead zones. There are actually places that the algae blooms and it kills off the local wildlife. Nothing can live there. And in this case, the red tide, it's actually amplified by this nitrate runoff.
So, Alan, how much are humans to blame here?
So getting back to your original question, where did this come from? This is something that's been a natural phenomenon off the coast of Florida for hundreds of years. The issue, however, is that you've seen a real intensification of it in recent years, and indeed, nitrates and fertilizer runoff have been seen as big causes of that. You also have questions about climate change. This is a season that has never had a lot of rhyme or reason to it, but in recent years, it seems to be intensifying, and intensifying much more than what you would expect with natural causes. That's where people start looking at things like warmer temperatures and agriculture as potential causes for this. And of course, then from there, you have to seek solutions.
What is, Karsten, your solution and the technology behind it?
Well, I've got a vision that we can build a more sustainable food system by rethinking how we use fertilizer. So if we can cut back on how much nitrate leaches into our waterway, we can eliminate that fuel that's promoting these blooms. And at my company, Pivot Bio, we've done that by creating a probiotic. It actually spoon feeds nitrogen to all of our crops on a daily basis. And that means that there isn't any nitrate running into our waterways.
So, Alan, you're our ag policy reporter. I mean, how groundbreaking could this solution be compared to what else is out there?
Well, there are production problems in contemporary agriculture, and what you'll hear are things like, greater productivity. In other words, fewer nitrates, less fertilizer is being used per unit that is produced. But if you're the water, if you're the fish, it's not about whether or not you use 20% more fertilizer to create twice as much corn. The fact is you're still using 20% more fertilizer. So in order to deal with these issues of just accumulated industrial agriculture use, you do need to sometimes think out of the box as ways of finding solutions. Now, people are looking for lower input fertilizer, possibly productivity gains that can actually happen while you are reducing your inputs. What you see in terms of some of these uses for nitrates, some of the probiotic, I think anybody who eats a lot of yogurt understands the principle there. These are the sorts of solutions people are seeking to stop this problem. Now, that does nothing about climate change, but it does do something about the ag runoff problem that seems to be intensifying this issue.
And, Karsten, presumably your tech could have an impact beyond Florida. Right?
Oh, completely. It actually can begin to get us into that case where we deal with climate change. Because when we use fertilizer, about 1% of that turns into nitrous oxide. And that's 300 times more potent than carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas. And when we eliminate all of that fertilizer by using our probiotic, there isn't that emission of greenhouse gases. And so when farmers across the U.S. would use our first product, it has the impact of being able to take 1 million cars off the road.